What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod back with another video, and today is Monday at 8:30 a.m. So of course I'm going to show you guys what sold on eBay and on Poshmark over this weekend. And in terms of sales, it wasn't that huge. I made 500 in gross sales. That means I made a little over 500 bucks before shipping and before I paid fees. So all in all, I made maybe closer to $400 after everything is paid for. But at the end of the day, I'm still grateful for these sales because it's days like this that remind me when I was selling ties on Instagram for like $10 and $15, and I would make maybe $50 to $60 over the course of a weekend, and I would be super hype about that. So now when slower weekends come in and I'm only making $400 to $500, I'm still happy because I know what it's like only making 50 bucks, and I know what it's like making $0 from reselling. So if you guys are interested in these videos, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me show you guys what sold on eBay and on Poshmark. Alright y'all, so we're going to start things off with the Poshmark sale, and the first sale from this weekend was this New York Red Bulls soccer jersey, and this jersey in my opinion was really dope. Only problem is the fact that this did have some cracking on the logos, but for the most part it didn't have any holes or any tears. So I had this listed at $19, and keep in mind this jersey is 11 years old, so the cracking is pretty normal due to age. But I had it listed for $19, it sold for $15, and I didn't make a ton of profit. I believe I paid about $250 for this jersey, so at the end of the day still made some good money on this one. Next is this Grateful Dead t-shirt, and this one I picked up on the half off day from Goodwill, and the good thing is I paid $1.25 for this shirt. At first I had it listed for $16, and then I kept lowering it, and I got a best offer of $10, and I just went ahead and accepted that. So once again, small sale, but since I only paid $1.25, I made some decent profit. Next up is a pair of Sanuk Sandals, and I've had these sandals for a very long time. At least 2 years I've had these. This is one of the first things that I bought when I became a reseller, and I had several of them, and this is the last one to go. So it finally sold for $10. And keep in mind, if this was sold on eBay, I may have sold it for $16 or maybe $19, but keep in mind tax and shipping fees are pretty high on Poshmark. So at the end of the day, I made a decent amount of profit as well. Next up is this polo shirt from the brand FootJoy, and these FootJoy polos always sell pretty well for me. Only problem with this polo is the fact that it did have some snags on the chest, as you guys can see, but for the most part there was no real issues with this, and it sold for $13. So I was definitely happy about the sale because I only had this one for a couple of weeks. Next is another Nike polo shirt, and these golf polo shirts always sell pretty fast for me, especially since it is golf season. So this one sold for $15. I had it listed for $19, and this one sold within a day. So I was definitely happy about this flip, and I only paid $1 for this shirt. Next is a pair of sandals from the brand Teva, and this one sold for $39, and I had it listed for $39. So anytime I can make a sale without having to accept an offer, I'm always happy about that. And these sold in about, I think I had these for a little over a month. So this one took a little longer to sell, but I'm still happy that it sold in a relatively quick amount of time. Next up is this pair of Levi's 501s, and this was featured in one of my trip to the thrifts. I'm not exactly sure which one, but I've had this one for maybe 3 or 4 weeks now, and I had it listed for $25, and I took a best offer of $20. So sometimes these jeans do sell for a little more money, but once the offer came in for $20, I just went ahead and accepted that. So if you guys see Levi's 501, especially the ones that are made with cone denim, definitely price yours a little higher. You might make some more money. But like I said, I just took the first offer that came in at $20, and I'm pretty sure that buyer will be very happy. And last but not least, I sold another pair of the Adidas Iniki boots that I picked up from that insane Adidas haul, and I sold 2 pairs on Friday as well. So in terms of overall sales of these Adidas sneakers, these are selling a lot faster than I expected it to, so I'm definitely happy about that. And of course, this one sold at my full asking price of $69. Moving right along into the eBay sales is this jacket from the brand David James, and this jacket was really dope in my opinion. It had a nice western style to it, and I was actually surprised that it sold as fast as it did, only because I know some jackets, depending on the style and the name, will take a little longer. And this one didn't have a very high sell-through rate, but it did still end up selling for $39 for me, so I definitely was happy to see it go. And this jacket, I charged $12 for shipping, and I was able to fit it in a padded flat rate bag, so I made a couple bucks on shipping as well. Next is this Nintendo Wii remote, and this one is the black remote, and this one usually sells for a little more money, but I paid $1 for this one from a yard sale, so I just wanted to go ahead and get rid of this one as quickly as possible, and it sold pretty quickly. It sold for $16.99. I've seen comps sell a little higher for $19.99, but mine sold within a couple of days, so I was happy to see it go. And I talk about this brand fairly often on the channel. This brand sells pretty good for me, especially when it comes to their plaid shirts. I find several of those shirts, most of the time, almost any time I go to the thrift, I'll come across at least 1 or 2 shirts, and I don't always pick them up because some of their prints are kind of ugly. But for the most part, Carpenter Cobalt sells pretty well for me, and these pants sold within a day. So I was asking $25 and it sold for $25, and I offered free shipping as well, so I think that helped move these along pretty fast. Next up is a lot of 2 Xbox 360 controllers, and these controllers were in perfect working condition. The only problem was the fact that I didn't have the battery covers for these, but thankfully I had an extra Xbox 360 controller, and I used the back of one of those to test it out and make sure that they were working. So I took the photos of that to make sure to let the buyer know that they do in fact work. But battery covers are sold on eBay for like 50 cents. So I'm pretty sure whoever picked this up would probably just get the covers on eBay or maybe on Amazon, who knows. But these sold for $25 and it sold within a day. And the good thing about this is that I picked both of these up at a garage sale, and of course they didn't come with the battery covers, but the seller assured me that they worked, so I took a chance on them for only $2 a piece. So since these sold for $24.99, I made a decent amount of profit on these because shipping was only about $5 and some change. Next up is a pair of boots from Teva, and Teva is a really good brand, and I find it pretty often out here in my area. And when I went to Buffalo a few months ago, Dom actually took this with her. So she was able to wear these boots, and then I went ahead and sold them immediately afterwards because I knew she wasn't going to be wearing these anytime soon. So these sold for the full asking price of $39.99 and $13 shipping. So definitely a very good sale. Next up is this personal stress reliever that I picked up in the thrift for only $2 or $3, and I really had no idea what this was, but something made me want to just test it out and see what it was about, and these actually sell for a ton of money. So I had this listed for $69.99 and it sold within about 3 or 4 weeks. And to be honest, I'm not sure what this does. All I know is that I checked the comps and it sold for some decent money. So whoever got this, I'm pretty sure I gave them a pretty good deal, and I'm just happy to see it go. Next up is this bike saddle from the brand Ergon, and this is the first time I sold a bike saddle like this one. I've sold bike saddles in the past, but this one seemed to be a little more fancier than the others that I've sold. And this one sold for $25 and I paid $5 for this one. So once again, not a ton of profit to be made, but like I always say, these small sales always do add up. Next up is another controller, but this one was for the Ps2, and this one sold for $13.99. And these Ps2 controllers, if I can find them for $1 or $2, I will always pick them up because they usually sell pretty fast for me, and it sold within a day for $14. Next is another Xbox 360 controller. The only difference is this one actually did include the battery cover, and I sold this for $17.99, and that was a really good price for me considering the fact that I only paid $2 for this one as well from my local Goodwill. So if you guys see any of these Xbox 360 controllers, definitely still pick them up because they sell pretty fast for me. And if you can get it for a good price, even though it's not a ton of profit to be made, trust me, these small sales definitely add up. Last but certainly not least is a pair of Brooks Pure Flow 5 running shoes in a size 13. And the funny thing about these shoes is that I had the exact same colorway in a size 8.5, and those sold on Poshmark in about a couple of weeks. And the size 13 took about 6 weeks to sell on eBay. So keep in mind that larger sizes, 12 and up, take a little longer to sell. But if you guys can find them for a decent amount of money, they will always bring in some good profit. So I only paid $6 for these, and these sold for $40 with free shipping. So I made about $20 to $22 after fees and shipping. So definitely be on the lookout for Brooks Pure Flow 5 running shoes because they will sell pretty quickly for you. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you got any comments or any questions, drop that in the comment section. I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Underrated. This lightning's causing thunder late.